Hello and good afternoon or good evening wherever you are. I am Tawana Carlton, your host of Soul Cooking with Tea. First, I'd like to welcome my Facebook family and friends, and also we here are on Instagram. Welcome my Instagram family. So, as some of you have seen the flyer or my graphic this week, I said it is a squash day. So come on in, tell your family, tell your friends, listen, Soul Cooking with Tea is on today. And so we've been getting ready for fall, thinking about fall recipes, thinking about things that we could use in the kitchen. Hello, thank you all for joining. That will be simple to use for the fall. Welcome, hello. So I'm on Facebook and I'm on my Instagram today. And so trying to do dual. So welcome. So it's squash day. And so I thought about, let's begin to think about some dishes that we could, do for fall. Last Wednesday we did a dipped pear in caramel and salted roasted pistachios. It was amazing. So for those that didn't see the video, make sure you go over to our Facebook page. Those that are on Twitter and Instagram, come on over to a Facebook page so that you can see the live videos and check out the different things that we have been cooking for fall. So today is squash day. Listen, I grew up in the South, and so I'm used to squash. My grandmother always made squash casserole. So that's something I'm used to, is a squash casserole. Well, for some of you, you know that I'm a foodie. I love food, I love to eat, I love to try something different. So I'm always watching different food shows. And so I happen to be watching, of course, PBS, and come across the screen, it was squash. So I said, let me just check it out. Let me see what is going on. So they were making fried squash. I could not believe it, because I've stir-fried on my grill, with a little olive oil, a little seasoning, but I've never fried squash. So today, we're trying something new here in Soul Cooking with Tea. I have my squash, I have my bowls. So you know what? Let me go ahead and let me turn on my portable so that it can start getting warm while we are preparing. So what I have is a fresh squash. Depending on, how many people you plan to, feed. Depends on how many squash you get. So I just got one because it's just two of us. And I have one egg because we need to make a dip, and one bowl, and then in my other bowl I need to put some flour. So let me get a little flour. I've already washed my hands, so let me put some flour in here. Now you could use a plate if you wanted to, but I just chose a bowl. No particular reason, but you can always use a plate. Hello, thank you so much for joining. So here I'm just going to crack the egg. Okay, so in this bowl with my flour, I'm going to add, I found this seasoning, and I'll show you. I found this seasoning at my local Ross store, so I have to show my other live family too. So I found this seasoning. It's a gourmet collection of spice blends, smoked paprika, garlic, chili, chives. It's a spice blend. I love this. And so when you're doing something with flour and you have to do a dip, I recommend that you season your flour. Again, I'm from the South. One thing you'll learn, and you've watched on my previous videos, is that we don't measure. The only time we measure is when we're making cakes and pies, because that measurement in your cakes and pies is very important. Because if you don't get the right measurements in your cakes or your pies, guess what? That cake is going to just be flat and taste horrible. One of my guests on Facebook says, I've never eaten squash in this way. Interesting. Yes, interesting to me too. So I'm just going to you'll just notice me, I hold my bowl up. You just notice me just put some in because I wanted to make sure it's very seasoned. So as you can see, I put quite a bit of the spice blend. Okay, so it just depends on what spices, what you like, what seasoning you like. It don't have to be a certain seasoning. I'm using some lemon pepper because I like lemon pepper. And I could stop there if I wanted to, but I'm just going to use a little bit of Lawry's garlic salt. So the other seasoning I had was the lemon pepper. It's great value from my local Walmart. So I'm just going to stir this up a little bit to blend it. See if I need some more in here. Okay, I need a little bit more seasoning, because I want to be able to see the seasoning in my flour. So just add a little bit more. Hopefully you all are having an amazing day, because I'm having a great day. It's just hot here on the West Coast, and I'm talking about hot. We are already, I believe, in the 90 degrees. We're supposed to be in the 3 digits. This is abnormal for us here on the West Coast. So I have my egg, so I'm just gonna whip it with that same fork. Just whip it a little bit. Doesn't take much, because you just really want it to get it mixed together. So you can see I just mixed the egg just a little bit, okay? So I'm gonna set that to the side. Take my squash. I've already washed it. So I'm gonna cut off the ends, because we don't want the ends, okay? Now, it depends on what size you want. So I'm gonna try to make it kind of a nice size, because I don't want it to burn. I don't want it too thin, and I don't want it too thick, okay? So we are having some fried squash. Yes, it has some bumps on it. So if you lived in the South and you know about farming, your squash sometimes has bumps on it, but it's good. And so I'm glad that I learned to eat squash when I was living down South as a child, because now I still can enjoy some of those same foods. Okay, so as you can see, I cut them in nice sizes, and I'm gonna be able to fry that. So while I'm doing that, let me go ahead and get my skillet on. Oh yeah, it's getting warm. So let me turn it up a little bit. Okay, and I have oil. I have vegetable oil. Now, some of you may want to use olive oil. It's totally up to you what type of oil you usually fry in. I don't like the taste of olive oil to fry in, but I love it when I'm sauteing. So I'm just going to use just a little bit. Let me show you my skillet. This is a cup. So I'm just going to, really, I want to cover the bottom of my skillet. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and put it on. Hopefully my side grill will get hot. Let me turn my fans a little bit so it can just blow on me and not on the grill. Okay. Because like I say, it's hot here on the West Coast. So I'm trying to make sure I got my lighting correct so you all can see me. Welcome. Glad to have you all here today. Looks like the lighting has changed. Let me know if you're still able to see me, especially on Facebook. Looks like the lighting kind of changed a little bit. So just let me know if you can still hear me and see me. And thank you all for joining me here live. So we're just waiting on the oil to get hot. So as I was preparing for today, and I just realized I have my apron on the wrong side, because I wanted to share something with you all. Just let me turn it around. Didn't realize I had it on the wrong side. Listen, you are my studio audience. You're supposed to say, hey girl, you got that apron on the wrong side. Turn it around, turn it around. That would have been just fine to let me know. So, as I was preparing for the show today, I was just reminded, hello, thank you so much for joining, of my grandmother. As some of you know, I was raised in the South by my grandparents, the women and men in my neighborhood, my mother, my uncles, and I can remember the women, all the women on my street always had an apron on, whether they were sitting outside talking to each other, or if they were in the kitchen cooking, whatever it was, they always had on an apron. And so I was reminded today about the apron and having pockets, because I can remember, you know, just seeing them in the kitchen. You know, you always, okay, you got something in your pocket because you may have to light something, you may have to measure something, or didn't know, you know, the reason why they always had those pockets. But it just came back to me today is that my grandmother always, because she smoked, so she had her lighter, she had her cigarettes, she may have had her Kleenex in there. So you never knew what was in their apron pocket. So if you got scratched, or if you scratched your arm, you started to bleed, listen, they had something that they may have had ornament in there to put it on your bruise. You never know what was in that apron. And so it just reminded me today when I was getting my apron about what my grandmother and the women in the neighborhood always had in their apron. You never know. Sometimes they had if you were going to run to the store, because we had a corner store, 2 corner stores in our neighborhood. So if you were going to run to the store, if you wanted ice cream, you wanted cookies, listen, they didn't have to go back in the house. They just reached in that pocket, gave you the change, or gave you the dollar bills, or whatever it was, that they had in there, and you were able to go to the store. So I love my aprons. I continue to wear my aprons because it just reminds me so much of my childhood. So I'm just checking to see. It's getting hot. So what you want to do, because I have not seasoned anything, okay? I've already washed it, so my hands are clean. I enjoy working with my hands. A lot of people don't like to touch stuff, so you can put on gloves. It's just totally up to you. So I'm going to dip it in this egg, drain it off a little bit, dip it in this flour, and if you like, put your hand in it, mash it down in there so that it gets coated in the flour. And so let's see if it's hot. Oh yeah, it's hot. So as I get them in, I'm going to bring my skillet over so you all can see. But I just want to make sure that it's hot before we put too many in, okay? So I'm just coating the squash with a 1 coating of flour, dipped it 1 time. You can double dip, triple dip. It's totally up to you how many times, you want to dip yours in there. Just up to you. Really up to you. I'm just doing 1 dip. And again, you may not want to get your hands dirty. So if you don't want to get your hands dirty, guess what? Get a pair of gloves. That is very appropriate when you're working in the kitchen, especially if you're catering an event or you're doing it for a family and you don't want, to get your hands in. Totally up to you what you want to do. Oh yeah, it's starting to fry. I don't want to put too many, but I just want to show you how to do some fried squash. Hope you all are having an amazing time. If you can, share with me where you are watching me from. Would love to shout you out, shout your state out, your city out. And thank you again for joining me here in Soul Cooking with T. Okay, I'll put 1 more in. I will see that. My studio audience, y'all didn't tell me I was about to dip it in the flour. So let me get it in the egg. Okay, dip it in the flour. Ooh, it's frying. It sounds good. Smells good. So, and this is just something quick. It's not nothing heavy. You can have it as your main dish if you just want it, something to lightly eat for the evening. You could just fry you some squash, and this would be amazing. So I'm going to set this to the side. Just give me a second because I need to wash my hands. Let me move my board. Let me wash my hands. Sorry for turning my back to you. All right. So now it's cooking, it's frying. So I'm going to try to slide this board over, my portable over, so that you all can see. Just give me a second here. Let me go over here because I need another cloth. So give me a second. Okay. All right. So I have to be careful because I don't want it to slosh and burn me. So I'm bringing over my portable so that you all can see as I'm cooking. So let me pull it over some more so that you all can see. Oh, that's warm. All right, hold on. Let me pull it a little bit more, pull it back. All right, there it is so that you all can see. So they are browning beautifully. So be very careful, gentle. Oh, yes, that looks delicious. They are browning beautifully. I have it on about max high because this is just my portable grill. So you have to adjust your heat according to your stove. Okay? Oh, yeah, guys. Ooh, that's pretty. So, I got it turned. Let me move my oil. Let's move some of this stuff out of the way. Let's get my plate here. Okay, I need some paper towels because we gotta drain it, after we take them out. So like I say, it's totally up to you if you use olive oil or whatever type oil you cook in. Just make sure you test it. Don't cook them all at one time. Test maybe 1 or 2 in the oil that you cook in. All right, Milwaukee, Wisconsin in the house. Hello. Make sure you test it out. The reason I say test it out, because some oils, and I haven't used a lot of frying in different oils. I've only used just regular vegetable oil. So it may do differently. So that's why I say try it out before you do it. And so they're about ready. So one thing, let me put the flour up. Yes. So remember, I just use my gourmet spice. I use that. I use my lemon pepper. And I use a little garlic salt. It's just totally up to you what spices you use. You may not want any spices. You may want it all natural. Hello. Thank you all for joining. It is squash day here in Soul Cooking with T. And I'm only doing squash because you can really have this as your main dish if you wanted to. If you're trying to, diet and you've already had your main meal for the day and you just really wanted something else. And so you could do some squash. Like I said, you could use different oils. It's totally up to you what oil you use. I just enjoy frying in vegetable oil. You could use olive oil. They have coconut oil. I haven't used any of those oil, but it's just totally up to you. Just like I said, try 1 or 2 pieces in that oil because you don't know how it's going to cook because I've never used it. And so I don't want to tell you something to use that I've never used. So let me go ahead and turn this off because guess what? The squash is ready. Didn't take no time. You just get it to the brown, that you like. Remember, it's going to have a little crunch to it because it is a vegetable. And I'm excited. I don't know about y'all, but this is a great fall quick recipe that's easy to do. It's not much prep at all for it. And so I'm looking forward to see how it tastes. So let me first, I want to set this down before I show it to you all. But I want to move this skillet over again. Let me pick it up, push it over. Sorry about the noise. Sorry about that. So I just want to make sure that I get it out of the way. Now, let me show it to you all. I have it on a napkin because I wanted it to drain, and get the oil off. So this is my fried squash. Look, guys, we got fried squash. So I wanted to let you see what it looks like. Fried squash. Hello. Thank you all for joining. So let me take it off of the napkin so that you can see it. Woo! Y'all don't know. Listen, when you're a foodie and you see food like this, all thing you want to do is just eat, and just dig in. And I already know it's hot. I can't just dig in. So here, guys, is our fried squash. So I wanted to share with you all. You could just eat it as is. If you want to, you could add you some hot sauce, your hot sauce of your favorite. I love Crystal hot sauce. We have some ranch, any kind of dressing that you like. And for those that are living here on the West Coast, listen, we got some sriracha. It is spicy. You only need just a little dip of this sriracha sauce. So it's really totally up to you, what you want to dip it in. You don't have to dip. You could just eat it just the way it is. Just that way. So guess what, guys? Let me get a napkin. Because I don't want you saying, well, she cooked it, but she didn't taste it online. So maybe it don't taste good. No, I'm going to taste it. Now, I know it's hot. So hopefully it won't burn me. Okay, guys? This is delicious. The only thing that I would do differently is that I would add some seasoning to my squash. and then I would mash it into the squash, because the squash after you cook is crunchy on the outside, very soft on the inside. And so I would mash some seasonings in to the squash. And then what I would also do, I would do my dipping backwards. I would dip it in my flour first, and then in the egg, and then back into the flour. But guys, this is delicious. So you all try that. This is amazing, guys. So again, we've had fried squash today. Fresh. If you can get it out of someone's garden, listen, it would be much better. But listen, buying it out the store, it's still delicious. It has a great flavor. But just like I said, I would just reverse everything. I would put seasoning still in my flour as I'm cooking it, as I'm seasoning. But I would reverse the dipping. I would do flour first, and then the egg, and then back into excuse me, and then back into the flour. But it is amazing. Yes, it is yummy. I am so excited. Excuse me, stuff just coming out my mouth. Y'all excuse me. Girl, y'all supposed to tell me something. I'm on camera. You are my audience. Let me know. So again, it is squash day here in Soul Cooking with T. Thank you all for joining me live on my Facebook and my Twitter. Hopefully on Instagram, you all were able to come in and see. And so again, I am Tawana Carlton, your host of Soul Cooking with T. And this has been a squash day. Fried squash. Trying something different. Learning something different. And so it has been amazing to be with you all again today. Have an amazing day, guys. Bye.